Here we are again. Not know the way. Today though, I'm not on the spiritual ranch. I'm on spiritual next door. I'm on the piece of property here that's across the street. Speaking, across the mountain or whatever. And so I was just wanting to do a video today because I've been wanting to do a couple videos, or just a video or whatever, maybe a couple, who knows, on basically like the fallout of the cannabis industry, and industry in general, honestly, because it's happened out here numerous times. This is an area that's a boom and bust culture as far as economy goes. It has been for a long time. What's managed to maintain any kind of longevity since they've eliminated the salmon out here has been the and then the trees. They cut down all the trees, and so there's still a little bit of logging, but they've really, the ranchers have hung in there, but they struggle too. Ranching's hard. It's a hard business to make money ranching, And so people were growing cannabis, and that blew up out here, went real crazy. As a lot of Eastern Europeans, a lot of people that were from the Hmong people that are from Southeast Asia, and then Mexican people. The Mexican mafia was out here thick, and it started off with ranchers. It was kind of real small scale, but then it blew up. It was like in the last 10 years of its heyday, it really lost its vigor here in about 2018. But at the end there, it really blew up. There's a lot of real crazy stuff that was done out here. A lot of properties that were bought that would have otherwise never sold, and were developed in ways that were not permitted and that was unregulated, And so I'm going to kind of give you a little tour here of one of my neighboring properties. All of the properties that border where I'm at right now are in this condition, more or less. There's me, and then there's just maybe a handful of other people. I think I know of 2 other places that are being utilized, but we're talking out of like 25 or 30 of them that I'm aware of. But of the properties that border me, there's like 4 or 5 of them, 5 I think, and of the 5, there's only 2 that have people living on them, and then me, and so of those 6 properties, half of them are vacant right now, but those are just the direct properties on my border, on my 22-acre lot. So that's just a micro scale of what's actually going on. When you go further out from me, there's every lot out here is like that. It's about 50% of the properties that were sold are now vacant, and for sale, but then also a lot of them are in real gray area legally. They're in who knows if they've had the taxes paid on them. A lot of them probably been reclaimed by the banks at this point, and then are in legal issues with the county because of regulations, and the counties put liens on them. And so that's complicated selling them for a lot of people, and they come with a lot of mess, But the reason that I'm putting this video out here is because currently we're in times, where people are seeking places, or will be. I hope people are, I imagine that people are seeking places where they could get away from the madness that we're all witnessing in our culture today, because things are going on their head, and the economy is getting crazy, and land prices are insane. And so this place out here, it's called the Empty West, it's the Emerald Triangle. And so it's just got a lot emptier, but there's a lot of places out here that have infrastructure if you got wherewithal, and it's going to require a little bit of work. The county will work with you and cooperate with you. I think that they're going to become more cooperative, and I believe that the banks will become more cooperative as well, because they're all stuck holding these properties that have a lien on them from the county. And then they also have stuff that has to be fixed. There's like illegal roads or some illegal sewer systems and stuff like that. But that's how it was with my property when we purchased it, and it didn't take much. The county was real willing to work with us, and I've already worked with them previously in the past building these places, so I was aware of kind of what they were looking for, and so that helped, But there's people like me out here. You can always reach out, and so the reason I'm posting this video is just to kind of share a little insight into something I've been kind of keep quiet on, but I'm realizing it's just me out here at this point. The place is vacating. And so if people have some tenacity and some good skills, then you can come out here and pick up a piece of land that's going to have everything on it that you need to actually sustain yourself. If you have agrarian skills, if you know agriculture. Some of them are in more harsher conditions, but some of them are on nice land too. Like mine's on nice land. I got peat soil, I got peat. And so, and a lot of water, so my stuff's going to work really good. This place is a little different, mine's at 2,700. I think I'm probably about 3,600 right here, which that would make this a little bit more difficult to grow on, but you'll see what I'm going to show you here. And so we'll take a little tour here, and I'll just kind of walk you through this out here, and then maybe down the road, if people show interest in this video, I could do a couple more, and it'd be nice to get some people out here. It's vacant, you know, and like a lot of this stuff ain't gonna just sit here either. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be used. Plastic gets brittle in the sun and whatnot, and so things don't sit around forever, you know. And so, so anyhow, just a little look at what's going on with the fallout. So you see here, a lot of these indoors and stuff out here were ran on generators, you know. And so this at one time was, I think, an indoor possibly for clones and drying, I believe. I think they use this for drying. But you see here, this at one time was a generator shed. They had a generator here. We had a big snow about 3-4 years ago. And this building didn't survive, as you can see, you know. And so, like, there's a lot of stuff sitting out here like this. I mean, like I said, I have 3 properties that border me right now. They're in this same condition. This one doesn't touch me. There's a property in between us. I think somebody lives on that one. But as you can see, most everything out here usually generally works. I mean, as far as the fans and everything, you know. But like, you know, this just very commonplace out here. There's a lot of stuff that was thrown in here like this. It was just thrown up real quick. They used it to grow as fast as much as they could because the regulations were real gray with the medical industry, you know. When they went with full-on legalization, all the medical regulations changed and they were no longer in effect, you know. And so it made it illegal for these people to grow because their permit was for medical marijuana, not for the legal like it is now, you know. And so, and then on top of that, like they made it so they could get legal. These people had a provisional license at one point, but the profit just fell right out of the market. You couldn't even sell a pot, you know. It was already flooded when they decided to go legal with it, which was pretty crazy, really. I'm telling people this for years, you know. My old man grew pot. So I've been around this stuff my whole life. It's 47 years. Nobody wants to listen to me, though. Shesh not know the way. That's what it means. That's what it means. And so, like, get us out here, you know. Put a lot of work into these stuff, and then it's just out here. Place like this, you know, I think with this one, it's been picked up by the bank, I'm pretty sure, and these people are long gone, you know. A lot of them, they had a lot of these places they were put into the names of people that were on work visas, you know. They get a 90-day work visa, they come over here and they'd work. It's kind of like slave labor a little bit, you know, and that's how they ran these, you know. And so this here was a big generator shed right here. So they had a big generator in here. You can see the fuel storage, you know, lots of fuel storage. You know, the house, it's one of these, this one might be permitted, it might not, you know, mine wasn't, but the county still allowed it to stay, you know, and they let me keep my sewer system and everything too, you know, which, you know, that's something for sure. I picked mine up for pretty cheap, you know, got it for $150,000 with a house. And a good sized shop, you know. And so on 22 acres, that's a good deal in California no matter what. But as you can see here, you can see now each one of these too is full of potting mix, you know. I showed a video where I was moving some big pile of it. I had to deal with it at my place over there, but you can see it's just all this is really good potting mix, you know. It's some high grade potting mix, you know. And so, I mean, just think of the coin right there, you know. Water storage, lots of water storage. On most of these places, they got lots and lots of water storage, you know, which water storage is expensive in itself. You can expect to pay about $1 a gallon, really. And so it just goes. I mean, these frames are ready to rock, you know. I mean, a lot of the tarps are just sitting here, you know. Like those are the tarps that go over top of those woven tarps. They last a good while if you don't just leave them out there like that. You got to pick them up, put them in the storage for the winter time, you know. But at this point, you know, they got another couple years, a year or so, maybe. If mice don't eat them, you know. But you can purchase these places like this out here. You got a lot of stuff to work with. Look at this piece of petrified wood, I believe. Isn't that nice? Wow. That's beautiful. Yep, and so, you know, I've been trying to talk to people about this stuff out here, because like these just all just sitting here, you know. This is right across the road from me. I haven't seen lights over here probably about 3 years, 4 years, you know. It's just sitting here. Somebody who had the wherewithal, you know, a little bit of money, you know. I bet you somebody get in a place like this for pretty cheap, you know, depending on how many acres it's got. But I'd really like to get somebody up here. I'd love if people would move out here. It'd be great, you know. Get all this. I mean, there's just stuff like this all over this place, you know. It's really kind of horrible, you know. It's horrible to think that it would just go to waste, you know. So many of these sitting out here like this, though. In fact, it's like the whole county's like this at this point. You know, the price is just, people are just vacating. I think it's part of God's plan, you know, because they're trying to make safe places for us chosen ones to go. And that's why I'm putting this video up here, you know, because like I said, this is just one example of many, many, many properties. These properties ain't even on the market out here. You have to dig a little bit to find them, you know. But they're out here. I think if you contacted the county, Humboldt County, California, I think if you just try to look around a little bit, I think people can start directing you towards places like this, where some people might even be really wanting to sell, because they're just falling apart, you know. This has been sitting here for, like I said, I haven't seen lights in here for 3 years or something, but look at this, you know. I mean, just look at this. But once again, if somebody who's got the tenacity, a little bit of wherewithal, this may look really bad. You know, it looks pretty bad, but a little bit of elbow grease and some Clorox, come in here and clean this thing right up, man. You know, even if you didn't have money for sheetrock, all you gotta do is just take it down studs, use it for a shop or something, you know. Pantry, I don't know. You know. But these places are all just sitting out here like this. I could take you on tours. Like I said, there's three of them, 4 of them around my place right now. It's the exact same condition. Exact same condition. You know, and like for somebody who wants to go and live off grid, get away from the system, this is out here, the Wild West, man. I mean, if you're gonna come out, you know, if it's something like that would interest you in a place like this, I'll forewarn you in advance. It's outlaw country, and so you gotta know the rules. You gotta know how to roll, you know. Like, you gotta know how to travel out here. You gotta know how to pay attention. You gotta stay to yourself. You gotta know how to work on your own, because there's a lot of crooks out here. A lot of real outlaw stuff, you know. Like, you gotta know how to stand up for yourself. You gotta know how to make yourself clear, set boundaries. It's that kind of place, you know. But these places, I'm telling you, not even on the market right now. I don't even know what's gonna become of this place out here. You know. This one's honestly in better shape than some of the other ones, you know, as far as how it's been torn up and everything. People come out here and just ransack these places, you know. All of it just sitting here. All of it just sitting here. You know, you can pick this up for probably telling you, a place like this you pick up at a discounted price on the size of the lot. And mine was 150,000, like I said, on 20 acres. You know, less water storage. It doesn't have as much going on it as this does, but this one here, I'm pretty sure it's probably in the bank. You know, bank probably foreclosed on this bastard, so he's probably not paying insurance on it, or probably not paying the taxes on it or whatever. Might even be able to pick this thing up in an auction. You know, if we were paying attention. I just might wait and the whole system collapses, falls on its ass. I'll have a place for people to go that want to live, you know. They want to just be people. They don't want to be robots, you know. Like the machine wants them all to be nowadays. But yeah, just sitting here, you know. Doors open. I mean, just been ransacked, of course, you know. Just sitting here. I mean, hell, you know, person came up on this place. You could have a nice little studio. There's a studio here. It's a 2-bedroom studio or art studio, whatever the hell you want, man. Music studio. We got a kitchen. Beautiful place. Yeah, I'm tripping out, you know. I live out here all alone. Just me. You know, the other places that I mentioned that I know they're still used. He grew on the one last year, a property that's directly adjacent to mine that I share a property line with. He grew last year. He had a greenhouse going, but I don't see much action over there this year, baby. Maybe not, but he has been going later and later and later every year, you know. And so I'm always surprised when I see him plant, to tell you the truth. But everybody's leaving. It's just me out here. Getting kind of lonely, you know. It's just being a little guy. I love him to pieces. He's got a big heart, but he ain't much for conversation, you know. So I always had a vision when I was a kid, you know. I always felt like, you know, God had an important job for me to do, whatever it is, you know. I always felt like in my heart that I was out here to help others one way or another, you know, and using the skills and the tools that God gave me, which I am, you know, I'm doing that, you know, and like try to share with you all some of my talents, you know, some of my gifts. And so this would be a big one to share, though, because I feel like God has blessed the chosen people to really have places for, and if we learn how to work with each other, you know, we gotta realize that we have power in numbers, you know, and we don't need very big numbers like that as long as we're all on the same page and we occupy, you know. That's how America became America, and that's the truth, you know. It's like this place is the main house out here. So, I mean, this place, I'm telling you, you can pick this place up for cheap. I'm gonna say shoot from the hip, $250. Unless it's all already screwed up and then you just pick it up for the taxes, probably, who knows, you know. But you could probably even get down to less than that, I would say. Maybe 200 even. There ain't nothing moving out here, you know. And that's for reals. That's for reals. And so, anyhow, you know, that's my little tour. That's my little 20-minute rant, I guess. But, whoever sees it, you know, like, yeah, these places are sitting out here. And if you're looking to get out of the rat race, you're looking to get out of the matrix, and you got grit, you can stand on your own, you know, if you know what that means, then you might want to look out here, you know. You might look out here, you might find what you're looking for. You might find that what you're looking for is more affordable than what you think. You know, we could all start building community out here that makes sense. Start feeding each other, you know, instead of living the insanity that they got us all locked up into, because this world gone crazy, folks. I don't know if a whole lot of you see that, but looking from the outside in, it's gone mad. I'm worried about everybody. And so anyhow, yeah, shesh, no way, man. And shit, man, I ain't fucking around. I keep telling you all that. We get a couple more people out here that ain't fucking around, we can change this world. Promise you. Yeah, that's what God says. So I love y'all. Signing off. The Spirits Ranch, across the street at least.